Everything was in readiness for the start of the world's flyweight title match between Rinty Monaghan of Belfast and Jackie Patterson, the defending champion from Glasgow. Patterson's going to beat the count. He just manages to get up in the count of 9. He staggers to his feet. He's in trouble. Monaghan rushes in for the kill. He measures his man carefully, pummels him about the head and body to the ropes. Vicious right hook to the jaw. Now an uppercut. Now a left and a right uppercut to the body. And Patterson gets set to go down with a right to the jaw. Out. And there's a new world's flyweight title holder, Rinty Monaghan of Belfast, who is immediately mobbed by his handlers in the ring. People stand up and cheer themselves wild at King's Hall.
We're here in Cathedral Gardens and we're unveiling the statue of John Rinty Monaghan, flyweight champion. He won the championship in 1948.
Rinty lived but a stone's throw away from here. He was world champion in the days, bygone days, when the ordinary guy in the street could have told you who the 8 world boxing champions were in their respective divisions. He had got himself into a position where he could earn big money, but his health let him down. He was a very ordinary man. He was a lorry driver, taxi driver, good billiards player, and at the end of his life he worked in a Shamrock garage as a petrol pump attendant. And some people think that's ignominious, but Rinty was Rinty loved being outdoors and talking to all the customers. And the guy who owned the Shamrock garage, Phil Moley, said that Rinty brought him in a fortune, because many people came not just to get petrol but to beat Rinty and get a photograph for Rinty. So it was a marriage made in heaven. But he means everything to Belfast, because he was a working class lad who put Belfast on the map in sporting terms.
The Belfast Boxing Ring have promoted this particular project, along with Rinty's brother Tommy and his nephew Eamon Macaulay, who himself was a professional boxer. And they were very keen to see something done to remember the great Rinty Monaghan. So it was a great pleasure for me as a sculptor to be, first of all, to be commissioned to do it by the Belfast City Council, and a great privilege to meet the family as well, and to learn more about Rinty. Rinty Monaghan was known not only as a fighter but as an entertainer, and after each bout, and he retired undefeated, and he loved to entertain. He loved to spread love, if you want. He was a great family man, and it's really to Belfast's credit that they've honoured the boxers of Belfast, because boxing is such an important part of Belfast culture. It brings people together.
I think the community owes a lot to boxing. You look at what it's done for both sides of the community. It's always bringing people together, and even as far back as Rinty's day, and the boxers are still continuing to do it today. So I think it's important to show a bit of recognition. Ireland as a whole, it's our most decorated Olympic sport. We're producing world champions in the professional business now too. So I think it's important for the community to come out and show a wee bit of gratitude for one of the greats.
Look up to our sporting heroes, and at the minute, we're on fire, even with the golfers. It's a wonderful time to live in Belfast and be proud of Belfast. It's got a lot to be proud of.
My generation coming up, we are learning a lot about him, but the older generation would have known Rinty Monaghan. They would have went and watched him in King's Hall and stuff like that there, and travelled over to Manchester and England and stuff like that to watch him. Well, you had to put Rinty Monaghan near the fire top, like. I mean, there's a load of them we can name off here, but I would put Rinty Monaghan. A lot of his fights was coming on Facebook and all that there. I put Rinty Monaghan as one of the top. He was world champion of flyweight back in the day when it was hard to win a world title. He had Freddie Gilroy, John Caldwell, and all Emmons coming up in the 60s and maybe the 70s, and then the Boy McGuigan in the 80s. But I think Rinty Monaghan stands the very top in my book.
It's great. It's great to see kind of one of Belfast heroes finally being recognised. I've often went back and watched some of his footage on YouTube. It was a different story, and he was a world champion when there only was one world champion, and boxing's full of alphabet titles these days. Sometimes you get confused with who actually is a world champion. In Rinty's day, you knew who it was, and he was a great fighter. It was a brutal sport then. It was tough. Things were a lot different, but it's great to see us, and a good turnout for him as well.
There's an iconic photograph of Rinty in this particular pose. And I think it says everything about the man. It just is the essence for me. And I think probably if you asked the family and anybody that knew Rinty, they would say, that's Rinty Monaghan. He was famed for doing what he did, which was sing after each bout. He would pick up the microphone and he would sing When Irish Eyes Are Smiling.
So it's good luck to the new world's flyweight title holder, Renty Monaghan of Belfast.